I like Chinese. I like Chinese. They only come up to your knees, but they're cute and they're cuddly and they're ready to please. How's that Monty Python song go? Well, howdy, folks. Well, howdy, folks, and welcome. Welcome to Kuala Lumpur. Oh, yeah. Playing a little bit of these gimbal settings here. We are literally staying right across the street from the Twin Towers. Probably less than a 2 minute walk. Yeah, we just got in from Phuket. We were in Phuket for about 5 weeks. And once our visa ran out, we came here. Nice experience, both from the perspective of the plane, the loading in Phuket, piece of cake, checked in, no one in line, no one in line in uh, airport at the security, nobody in line at passport control. Plane left on time and got here early. About an hour and 20 minutes in the air. Hey, how's it going, Chester and Honey Coo and Arcelia? How are ya? So, today is the fourth. Let me show you up here, pan around here to the largest. Oops. Better watch where I'm going here. The tallest twin towers in the world, the Petronas Towers at Surya Mall, KLCC. In between is the park, and then, of course, Pavilion Mall on the other side. So we've been here many times, but I don't think we live streamed from it recently. So we'll take you around, and I do feel a little sprinkle on my arm there. So we'll see. We'll see how long we can make it last. So yeah, we went from Phuket to here, and then of course it's about an hour drive from the airport here. It's also an hour from Kata Beach, where we were staying, over to um, the airport in Phuket. So we spent as much time on the ground as we did in the air today. Today is the 4th of July, which is not only Independence Day in America, which is America's 250th anniversary. So 250 years ago today, the United States of America became an independent country. They declared their independence from England, and the rest, as they say, is history. England tried to stop them from doing this. I'd like to take a look at the fountain over here. This is where we met one of the times. We met the world famous E.T. Travel Freely right here at the fountain on this side. But let's see, where was I? Yeah, 250th birthday or anniversary of our uh, independence. But a lesser known fact is 80 years ago today, 80 years ago today, the Philippines also was granted its independence. They changed the day to June like 12th or something like that in the 1960s. But that was when they were free from Spanish occupation. But they were truly free to pursue being in charge of their own country for the first time 80 years ago today, July 4th, their original Independence Day. So both America and the Philippines share this incredible day in common. Both are democracies, and while the concept of democracy certainly existed before America, it didn't really exist practically. That's why they often say the birthplace of democracy is the Capitol Hill in Washington. So the mall here that we're in right now, this is called Sharia Mall. This is right underneath here, the Twin Towers, and we'll go on the outside. You see the you can see all of the park and everything like that, fountains. Well, I'll tell you what, having to get up at 4 something in the morning, and we really got our schedule mixed up. So our kids Sunday got to our place, sat on the couch, laid down. She's been out ever since. So you can see this place is killing it, huh? Yeah, we've got Honey Co. and we've got Ethan Boy. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, a little bit of a spin, a little bit of a twist on the holiday. Because hello, how are you, Effie? Huh? Mine? All right. So one of the things I want to bring up, a little bit different spin on what you normally hear. It occurred to me today that there are many people, and I've actually done a lot of research for a book on this about the epidemic of loneliness. There's an unbelievable amount of lonely people that exist that don't really have any friends, that don't interact with people, and they're socially very awkward people, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they got estranged from different set of circumstances. But I think oftentimes this loneliness, as everybody else seems to be out celebrating. Where's the park? Oh, where? Right here? Straight across? Yeah, okay. Baby back ribs. Chili's baby back ribs. Barbecue sauce. So, yeah, I got twisted around here a little bit. Going back to what I was saying, not only do we see an epidemic of loneliness, this is becoming very apparent. There are tens of millions of basically shut ins, people that don't have a single friend in this world to talk to, or very few, spend most of their time alone. And I think the social media, which was supposed to help this thing, has actually made it far worse. Far worse. Because people feel they took the shortcut of I can talk to you by chatting with you. I can talk with you by even dating. I'm on a dating site, etc. But it turned out that that didn't really work out, did it? That turned out to be a bit of a disaster. We'll explore that more as we go outside here. You can already see the fountains at the back side of this. Now, this is quite amazing. I'm not giving up on that topic. I'm just a little bit of rain has popped in. Although I must say it's very warm. Yeah, a little rain never hurt us. I'm taking some film here with my other camera while chatting with you all. So I'm going to take a few more little clips here, if that's okay. All right. So, yeah, epidemic of loneliness. Think about it. Think about all the people you know that now a lot of them won't admit it. You know, we know a lot of people, especially on YouTube, that 99.9% of their social interaction is with chatting people on YouTube. And they call those people friends. Sometimes they don't see those friends for years. Or if they do, they have one meeting and then they reminisce about that one meeting for the rest of their life because it's so rare that they have more meetings. And I see this all the time. And a lot of times, the people that are just sitting in the room being lonely have too much pride to reach out and actually say, hey, I am lonely. Maybe I fucked up somewhere. You can see I'm taking a little bit of footage while I'm talking with y'all from this DJI camera. It's a little miniature camera. But maybe if the people had a little bit of humility and said, hey, you know what? Maybe I fucked up somewhere. Somewhere or another, I goofed. I lost everybody. And now I'm sitting here in a room day after day, and my interactions come as either as a troll or just leaving comments on a show. And yes, that is Ethan, and that's Honeyco. Hi, Ethan boy. In our silliest corner. But rather than deal with that loneliness, a lot of times their pride gets in the way and they can't just admit it that they, you know, maybe I'm not socially capable. Maybe I'm socially inept. Maybe I am a big asshole who drives everybody away. Maybe I'm a type of person that when you're sitting down talking, you're the only one who's talking and you're not listening to anything anybody else says. You're just waiting for them to draw a breath so you can jump back to your agenda. Own it, admit it, and repent of it. Stop doing it. Well, it's, before it's too late. If you have friends, cherish those friendships, cultivate them, honor them, don't dishonor them, honor them. This certainly is nice around here, isn't it? Kuala Lumpur, this part of Kuala Lumpur, only thing that really can rival this Southeast Asia would be Singapore. And Singapore is probably 5 to 10 times the cost. The amazing thing about Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia in general, it's about 3 to 4 times the lifestyle of the Philippines. Much better food, great infrastructure, clean, modern, more modern than any other place. And yet it's on average, the last time I checked it, 13 to 17% cheaper. All right, let me see what these comments are saying here. Sounds like you're dealing with people of the Philippines. Oh yeah, that's pretty much it. I not people of the Philippines. I mean, this isn't really about Filipino people. It's more about people who seemingly are hard up, and the only people who will listen to them cackle are Filipinos who are desperately trying to have them rescue them from their situation. You know, the world famous Geo and that other creepy dude that was doing visas for sex scandals and bachelor courses and all the rest of it. Remember they were saying Malaysia's the place to be. You gotta live in Malaysia. Malaysia, I'm moving to Malaysia. Remember all that? The healthcare, the food, the infrastructure, but they didn't move here. Why? Because they're way too smart for them here. They're not going to buy all their bullshit here. It's not going to happen. These people aren't hard up. So we look at it on a per capita basis. Malaysia's making almost triple per capita of the Philippines. But like I said, it's 13 to 17% cheaper than the Philippines. So go figure. You're getting way more for your money and you're spending way less. So back to the loneliness thing. Where was I? There's a shitload of lonely people out there. You know, swallow your pride and admit when you decided to become a troll or you decided to, offend everybody you know. Just admit that you fucked up somewhere. Try to get it in your head that if no one wants to deal with you unless you pay them to deal with you, then there's something wrong with you. It's not always everyone else's fault. It's usually your fault. Now, I'm not trying to sound like I'm lacking empathy for those. I do have a lot of empathy for them because I think loneliness is a very bad problem. But how do we solve it? How do we solve genuinely lonely situation? We have to get out of the room and we've got to make interactions with people that are other than bar girls. We have to own our shit. We have to change ourselves and take positive steps to build a social foundation of friends and lovers, romance. How do we suddenly get here? Normally we go around that way, right? I'm like so confused right now. We went under the bridge this time instead of over it. This is such a nice park, guys. They have this water park, this pool thing right over here, and it's free. So many times my kids have gone in there, even though we have a pool, to get that interaction with other kids. They like to come here and they like to go in. Now they have all these playground areas over here, but they're all boarded up now because they're renovating it. It's all being renovated. I'm gonna get to your comment in 1 second. It's a little bit slippery around here. Not ignoring anyone. I just want to get to a safe spot. Even though it's a little drizzly now, the drizzle stopped. And it's wet, as you see. It's still hot and humid around here, big time. I'll come over here under this tree and sit down for a minute. Yeah, Kuala Lumpur rocks, man. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Just like I was listening to Steve Montelli talking about Phnom Penh yesterday, saying that anyone who talks shit about Phnom Penh hasn't gone. It certainly hasn't gone recently. So, Lieutenant, you ever think war? No, I don't. I don't think that they don't have it. They're not strong enough to do that. But what happens is, 10 years ago, I'll just give you a few examples there. Okay, the vibrating egg guy. Yeah, yeah. You're an old time uh, person who knows the genre for sure. But let's just use an example. If we go back to 1994, the Philippines economy was 5 times the size of the Vietnamese economy. If we go to 2022, I think it was, or 2021, Vietnam caught up with the Philippines. If we go now, Vietnam is experiencing almost double digit growth, let's say 8%, 7 to 8%. Philippines is looking at 3.5 to 4%. Every year, that gap's going to get wider and wider. Furthermore, the cost of living is drastically lower. So your purchasing power is much better in Vietnam than it is in the Philippines by a long margin. At this stage, it's not even close. Vietnam's much nicer, it's much cheaper, and frankly, it's a lot more fun there. Food is much better, healthcare is much better. And what's going to happen because Vietnam is being picked as the replacement in the supply chain, every day I look at articles of money being spent in Vietnam, data centers, pharmaceuticals, everything I'm involved in the business world is being pumped into Vietnam like there's no tomorrow. Those are all high paying jobs, heavy duty growth. Then you look at the tourist numbers. Vietnam was at 22 or 23 million last year. The Philippines only had a meager 4.5 million foreign tourists. Now the number says 6.5, but 2 of those million were OFWs, or Filipinos. They're counting them because their number is so crazy low. Let's be honest here. Let's have a moment of honesty because we never see all these guys going to the beaches. They say, "Oh, the Philippines has all these beaches." The only person ever showing beaches seems like is me. Um, the only reason why people went to a third world country that's super dangerous is because the easy access to sex and girls. Oh, I agree with you, Lieutenant. Now, the person I showed a minute ago, Honeyco, she was an OFW for nearly 10 years. I have a lot of respect for those people. I do. And I've worked all through the Middle East and Europe, talked to OFWs almost on a daily basis when I'm on business trips. I was in Jordan one year, and I had surgery there during the COVID times, and the entire staff of the Marriott Hotel in Amman were Filipinos, and there was no customers there except for me. So I got a chance to spend 6 weeks getting to know almost everyone working there, and the horror stories that they told were truly unbelievable. And there's nothing going to ever change because the country is so unbelievably corrupt. The Philippines ranks 90th in K through 12 education of the out of 90 countries that subscribe to the PISA testing standards. Vietnam is like 50 ranks higher. So we're just comparing those two countries. If we look at those two and we don't talk about anything else, it's so clear. Longevity, 5 years longer on average of living. Math, Vietnamese was in the 79th percentile on average. Philippines in the 16th percentile. You can go down the list of almost every category imaginable, and they're getting their clock clean. Now, you can't ever have an adult conversation like this because people are just, butt hurt. But, people should tell the truth about what's going on, not try to con people into coming. What happens is all these YouTubers are so lonely themselves. They don't have, that's what I'm talking about. They're lonely. They don't have anyone to deal with usually. They're just in a fan room, like, or they're renting a girlfriend or something like that, right? And they try to sell other people the dream that you can come to this tropical paradise. A tropical paradise. We lived in Boracay for 6 months. That tropical paradise, which we like it there, but the amount of you'd have to walk 200 meters into the water to get away from the algae and the trash and it was overwhelming. By the time we left because of the trash and the algae. It was just so overwhelming that we said, "Hey, you only live once. We're not going to do this and do this and do this." But see, we live in this weird bubble where we say that we want a world that's not filled with political correctness. We want to reject wokeism. We don't want to be a simp. But then what do? We go into these countries and we do the exact same thing that we did in our home country. We act as if the woman has the upper hand. We have to pay them. We have to pay her family. We have to pay, as Ricky would say. And to a certain extent, of course you do, but they also have to do stuff for you. It's not a one-way street. I remember this one vlogger from Nebraska. I'm not going to mention his name. He did show after show after show after show about my Filipina this, my Filipina that. Now, I happen to know that this guy had only 4 dates in his entire lifetime. 3 of those dates, he had to go to another state to meet a girl. All meetings lasted for 1 hour or less. Imagine this: 53, still a virgin. Then he goes online, goes to the Philippines, starts chatting with somebody, and 29 days later, they're married. And now he built her a house back in her country, built another house for her family, and every single penny, every second, every day goes into taking care of her and her family. And I asked him, what does she ever do? Because she's there in his country with his family, and she's working 6 days a week too. And I go, what does she ever do for your mother? What does she ever do for your family? And he just looked at me like I was crazy, like I lost my freaking marbles. What? What do you mean? What does she do for my family? It's supposed to be me doing everything for her. I'm a simp of the century. That's not how it works, gents. It's not about you doing everything for her. What do we got here? It's about mutual. It's about reciprocity. But see, in our genre, we know nothing of reciprocity, do we? We think the way to win the girl is to dump money into her and her family, and she gets off scot free what she does for you and your family. That's bullshit. Bullshit. You know, most of the relationships are scams. Most of them are just um, bunch of wishful thinking guys thinking they can now be important because a girl will pretend to pay attention to them. Truly, truly pitiful, but that's what it is. So, going back to what I was saying a minute ago, in the holiday season, people get lonely. They get very lonely. And how do we deal with that problem? How do we deal with loneliness, especially if it's ongoing loneliness? Well, we don't do it by hiding in our room. We don't do it by burning every bridge of every friend that comes along. We don't do it by cackling and never listening to what other people say. We don't do it by, you know, blaming everyone else for our failures. We do it by owning our shit, owning up to what's going on, and starting over. Go out and make some new friendships. Join a organization of expats. Join, if you're back in the States, some kind of club, some kind of church thing. Maybe if you're in the military, the Elks Lodge or other options. There's a whole lot of options. Join the gym. Start getting to know people at the gym. I know I used to be big time into hiking. That was my favorite thing to do. And I used to interact with hikers all the time, both online and in person. Join a hiking club. Go out and meet people and try to get to know people and be honest with people. If people ask, why are you in this hiking club? Say, because I'm lonely and I don't have any friends and I like to get, some kind of social interaction with people. Honeycomb! Staring at the walls. Yes. Staring at the walls ain't going to bring the happiness and the joy, but you can have a catharsis moment by acknowledging that you fucked up and that the way to fix it is to start over. You have a crooked bunch of crooked walls and a shaky foundation on your house. Do you try to fix it or do you start over? I say start over, man. Go and meet the people, cherish the people that you do meet, be kind to them. Don't be an arrogant prick. I've met so many arrogant pricks out there. So many arrogant pricks that are just, they don't pay any attention to what you say. They're just waiting for you to finish your, so they can jump in, go back to their agenda. They don't ever follow up with anything that you're talking about. They're just selfish scum. Let those people go, man, unless they're willing to come to you and say, hey, I fucked up. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's push the reset button. and then give them a chance. Give them a chance. But most of the people I've dealt with, and this is the truth, I've talked to thousands of expats. I've talked to hundreds of YouTubers. I've met 60 or 70 YouTubers face to face. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, the reason why no one's hanging out with the person is because they're rude and they're offensive, and no one wants to deal with it. People don't want to hurt their feeling. Hey, okay, Lieutenant, thank you, sir. Hey, Leo from Frio. Hey, Leo, there's your good buddy down there named Honeyco. Oh, Honeyco, is she being snooty, Leo from Frio? Hi. Better not be snooty to Leo from Frio. You better not be. A good afternoon to you too, Leo, and we want to wish you a terrific 4th of July Independence Day. 250 years ago, the United States became an independent country. 80 years ago today, the Philippines became an independent country. The original Independence Day of the Philippines, July 4th, 1946. And for the U.S., of course, it was July 4th, 1776. So happy birthday, America. Happy birthday, Philippines. It's amazing. There really was no Philippines before. The Spaniards came in and named it that after King Philip. Hmm. Oh, and there's Arcelius Porter. How are you over there? Hi. Ethan, no. And Ethan and Honey Co. So yeah, we're here at KLCC in Kuala Lumpur. We just arrived today from Phuket. We're probably going to be here. Yeah, well, we'll be in Malaysia for a month. We might stay longer. If we stay longer, we'll go down to Johor Bahru and then cross over into Singapore and come right back the same day. That only takes an hour, and you get a fresh new set of dates. 250th, absolutely. Happy 250th and happy 80th birthday for the Philippines. So again, if you're suffering from loneliness and you're depressed, they're two separate things. You can be depressed and not lonely, and you can be lonely and not depressed, I suppose. But they often go hand in hand. And what I've seen, this is my observation, okay? Having met so many, I've met a lot of famous ones too, that once the camera goes off, they retreat into their little shithole and they're staring at the walls 24/7. And it's so sad. There was one vlogger, I'm not going to name him, that was very sick. And he kept having to create this illusion, which was really a delusion, that he knew more about everything than everybody else. He was the ultimate fount of knowledge. He was the king of YouTube. Everybody should bow to him. But this person got very sick and didn't know what to do about it. And I offered to get the cure needed for this person. But the person was so filled with pride and so filled with ego that they couldn't even take the life saving measures because it came from somebody that wasn't in his league. Because he did research, and one of his little trolls told him to try this esoteric thing. It works, it works, it works. Well, it didn't work, and he died. Sometimes you got to swallow your pride and say, hey, I fucked up somewhere. I'm fucking lonely. I'm sad. I'm depressed. What can I do to get some friends in here and get some people that actually give a shit about me? Well, you can start by giving a shit about other people. Do unto others the way you want them to do unto you. If you're looking for friends, you're looking to stop being pathetically lonely, you can start by cherishing and listening to other people and not be making everything all about you. You can start meeting with people. You can start listening to people. If you must, bring a little stopwatch and time. I did it one time. I talked to a guy for 4 hours, a YouTuber I'm not going to name. And in the 4 hours, he spoke for about 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Every time I tried to get a word in, he would just go right back to what he was saying. That's not a person who is a friend to the other person. That is an egomaniac, a completely delusional human being who wakes up one day and wonders why he's completely alone. So, on top of the YouTube loneliness in society in general, we read and we see evidence everywhere of loneliness. And it's acutely manifested in these holiday seasons where everyone seems to be celebrating except those people. And so I say, let the holiday be a time of new beginnings for you. Own your shit. Go out there and try to make it right. Try to make it right. Do your best. Your best isn't to interrupt people all the time. Your best isn't to be a troll. Your best isn't to attack people and gossip like a little bitch. Your best isn't, hiding in the walls and then pretending like it's everyone else's fault. That's not your best. And the other thing, people who are often chronically lonely are the ones who are taking a fistful of pills every day just to make it through the next day. That's also not the solution. Pills aren't going to make you go from a piece of shit to a decent person. Now, we've all made mistakes. We have to wake up and own our shit and realize where we went wrong and try to make it right. That's my word for today on Independence Day. Independence for the Philippines, 80th birthday, and Independence Day, the 250th birthday for the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. Thank you, America, for all the opportunities you gave us. And thank you, God, for the blessings you bestowed upon America. God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. So happy birthday, America. Happy birthday, Philippines. And for the chronically lonely man that's sitting there, most of them will never hear this because I have no listeners, but you wish somebody that had a lot of influence would actually do a show about it instead of bullshitting people to try to get views. Like the one I saw today of a guy that said, Mike so and so just tried his first Jollibee. But yeah, there's a lot of pride with people out there, and a lot of people would rather spend the rest of their life alone than to own up with what they've done to create the problem in the first place. Or they'll look for a magic pill, or they'll look for a bottle, or some other magic cure, which does not cure anything. Treating people kindly, respectfully, decently, I am so blessed. I have friends all over this world. I have them locally. I have all the people I live with, the people that are I do consider friends on YouTube. You know, very fortunate, but I also make the effort. Every time someone wants to meet, I meet. I make an effort when I'm going to be in a certain town to let them know I'll be there to meet also. I've had 35 years of business experience too, where I got to meet so many amazing business people. I'll include Don C as one of those. We met both personally, business wise, and YouTube wise, and ET and Big Kevin. And I want to say shout out to Nico. We were on his show briefly and we were at Phuket Airport. He was doing a show. We went up there and sang a song for him in honor of the birthday of the United States. Yes, Twin Towers. We had just arrived today in Kuala Lumpur, and it was drizzling here. It's a little bit drizzly, but it's still hot and humid. You can see over here. Let me see if I can point that down a little bit. The kids are in the public park here. This is open to the public free of charge. And this is such a beautiful, beautiful park. We love coming here. We love coming here. We love Kuala Lumpur. We love Malaysia. We were very lucky too because we were in Phuket for 5 weeks, I guess, and it only rained a couple days. It was the rainy season, the low season. For the most part, we had great weather and it was cool. And even a couple nights, I would say it was beyond cool. It was actually kind of cold. So if you know somebody who's lonely, reach out to them. If there's a widow, a widower, another shut in, a disabled person, reach out to them. Don't assume that they have it covered because maybe they don't. And I don't want to be lacking of empathy for those people because I have a tremendous amount. But I'm dealing with the self-inflicted loneliness, which is what we normally see all around us, where men spend their entire life in a room chatting, masturbating, watching porn, and obviously it's not good and it's not fixing their problem either. So as a Independence Day kind of wishful thinking list you might want to form, start off by saying, I'm going to start this day by acknowledging my mistakes. I'm going to repent of them. I'm going to try to reach out to somebody. I'm going to try to make physical friendships and relationships. I'm going to try to have a actual girlfriend, not just a online girlfriend or blinking light. I'm going to try to have actual real sex, not just cam shows. Hey, we all like cam shows. I mean, I like cam show as good as the next man. Who doesn't? But if you are still capable and you're not fucking on at least 4 or 5 times a week, got to go back to the drawing board. Find a physical girlfriend. If you know you'll never make it to the Philippines for the easy girlfriend, the paid one or the one that you're offering the green card hunter, try to go down to some local groups and find someone who also is in your situation, who's looking for real relationships. We know so many people through YouTube have already stated They will never make it to the Philippines. They have physical conditions that prevent it. They only make $800 a month on their SSDI. They'll never be able to go. We know people who've been on YouTube for 8, 9 years since we first started, and they're still floating out LDRs. They're still dangling the hope. It's wrong to do that. Very wrong. Because you know you're never going to get over there. You don't want that person to put their life on hold for a false hope. Go out and meet real people, real relationships, real sex, real girlfriends, and leave your virtual delusional reality behind. And if you're just an asshole that everybody avoids, you're offensive, you're rude, you're obnoxious, and you don't know how to listen to people, maybe if you stop doing those things and learn how to cherish people, you wouldn't be so damn lonely in the first place. A little bit of tough love message, but it is a needed message. We hear stuff every day from people. Every damn day we hear of this stuff from people. And it's a pattern that we see over and over every day that we hear it. So, all right, I'm going to leave it there. And once again, say happy anniversary, happy birthday to the United States, to the Philippines, and to the rest of the world. From Kuala Lumpur, a real gem of a place, a real jewel, let me tell you. The best malls, the best food, the best parks. There's a lot to love in Kuala Lumpur and Georgetown and Kuching and Johor Bahru and Kota Kinabalu and a lot of other places. From Kuala Lumpur and the Twin Towers in Malaysia, it is Big E, Medicine Man, HVAC.